Happy holidays, how's it going? Today we are answering the question, is buying 2 NVIDIA graphics cards worth it today? Is SLI worth it? In my opinion, yes, of course it is. But in NVIDIA's opinion, no, it is not. My name is Chriest, but my subscribers just call me THC. Hit that subscribe button, let's dive right into it. If you are that type of person who is about to buy a second GPU in late 2018 or early 2019 and are not going to watch this entire video, let me give you the short and sweet answer. Yes, it is worth buying a second graphics card and running it in SLI. In most situations, you will be doubling your frame rate, but you will have to be that type of person that will read forums, watch videos, and learn certain programs in order to fix many games for multiple GPU usage. Fortunately, this is easy and is quick to learn. If you want to buy 2 NVIDIA GPUs today, you will need to learn how to use NVIDIA Control Panel and NVIDIA Profile Inspector. You'll need to be very fluent in these programs, or else you will feel like you wasted a lot of money on a graphics card that isn't really working. Although if you are willing to learn how certain engines work with SLI and what frame rendering options will fix your problem, I would recommend buying 2 GPUs. But if all of that sounds like a crazy amount of computer jargon that you don't even want to bother yourself with, I would recommend saving up for a 2080 Ti and a badass processor. If you understood what I just said, maybe run SLI. At this point, NVIDIA really does not care about optimizing games for SLI. Basically, scalable link interface, 2 graphics cards working together is not openly supported by most AAA developers that use NVIDIA for optimizing their video games. I know that's a bunch of fancy words, but I hope that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. SLI is not openly supported by most developers today in the DirectX 12 era. So many fancy words, but yes, developers do not openly support it today. Thankfully, people like me, who I call optimizers, actively do NVIDIA's jobs and post easy fixes to sites like YouTube, where people like you can easily follow and optimize their games, so both your cards work as well. We post them to YouTube, to Steam forums. Basically, we are doing NVIDIA's job in the past few years when NVIDIA has not been supporting SLI whatsoever. But there are so many people out there actively fixing games that if you want to buy 2 GPUs, there will be a tutorial for practically any game that you really want to fix. SLI is still alive, but not from NVIDIA supporting it, but from nerdy kids like me fixing problems that AAA developers and GPU corporations were too busy or even lazy to solve. It's kind of hilarious. Why am I doing NVIDIA's job? Like, seriously, NVIDIA, I have fixed more SLI profiles than you in the last 2 years. Send me a check, please. Just for comparison, if you're trying to build a PC right now, this is what my rig is. This is what I'm using to play games in 4K 60 FPS most of the time. So my rig was very expensive in 2017. It was about $3,000 in total. But based off of newer GPU releases, you might not be that impressed with it. So I have 2 GTX 1070s from MSI, the Gaming X Edition, which are overclocked as they should be. With the twin Frosser fans, they're amazing. I love it. I also have an Intel 6700K. It's a 4-core processor, 4 gigahertz. It's alright, middle of the pack. That is water cooled by a Corsair H80i V2 all-in-one water cooler. And then we have 32 gigabytes of RAM from a Vexier, the Green Tesla Raiden series. And then finally an HX 1000i Corsair power supply. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Corsair fans to end out the rig. Basically, I know SLI is not dead because even on a 2-year rig with GTX 1070s, I can still play 90% of the games that I buy in 4K 60 FPS, which is basically what I was originally going for. SLI is still alive. I recommend you buy. I am addicted to buying games and not beating them. It happens to me all the time. My Steam library is full of non-stop games that I have not beaten, but I've fixed the SLI profiles, put them out on YouTube, whatever. Basically, I buy a new game, fix 2 GPU support, I'll make a few YouTube videos on it, and then I'll move on to the next big game. So, I mean, honestly, I think I am your best source of knowledge if SLI is worth it or not, because I've been collecting a massive library over 2 years and have been only having trouble fixing 4 games. Alright, the only games I could not fix were Fortnite, but believe me, I'm still trying. I also couldn't fix Mafia 3's terrible PC port. It was basically like they put the Xbox version right onto PC and didn't even try. So I couldn't fix that, and the other 2 were Assassin's Creed Origin, which I spent maybe 5 days trying to fix, getting stressed out thinking about how long it took me to try and even fix that, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I haven't even attempted because I haven't bought the game yet. So basically, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a massive list of all the games that actually support SLI. Those were the 4 that I couldn't fix. Only those 4. Fortnite, Mafia 3, Assassin's Creed Origins, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Basically, the rest of the games on Steam, Origin, Battle.net, all of that, either have SLI support or can be fixed very easily. And the developers probably should have done it by themselves. Alright, moving on. Some of the games that I've fixed for SLI support in about 5 minutes include Battlefield 5, which was just stupid easy to change. Basically, like, I tricked the game into thinking I was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, which had perfect SLI scaling, and it worked instantly. Pretty much DICE and NVIDIA didn't even try to optimize it because the first solution I even tried, it worked perfectly for me and like 1,000 other people. You can look at the comments. It's kind of funny. NVIDIA doesn't even try. Also, the famous Elder Scrolls V Skyrim did not have SLI support, but with a few tweaks in The Witcher 3's SLI compatibility bits, which is a fancy word that basically means tricking a game into thinking it's another game. Basically, you change 3 buttons, and you have perfect scaling in Skyrim. It's a very easy fix. The only problem is there's minor flickering in the main menu. But besides that, Bethesda could have added that to begin with in 2011, and in 2017 somebody finally fixed it, but nobody's there to optimize the flickering, so who knows. Whatever, moving on. Another game that kind of made me laugh with the lack of SLI compatibility was Divinity Original Sin 2, the role-playing strategy game from Larian Studios. The funny part about it was that you only had to click 1 button in the NVIDIA control panel to fix it. You basically just had to change the AFR mode, and it had perfect 2 GPU scaling between both of the cards with no glitches whatsoever. It was 1 button in control panel. So like I was talking about earlier, you guys gotta learn control panel, you gotta learn NVIDIA Profile Inspector, because you can just like literally double your FPS in games where the developers didn't even think about adding 2 GPU support. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Alright, moving on. Alright, another interesting reason why you might want to buy SLI GPUs is that sometimes the community fixes a game that did not actually feature 2 GPU support. Then the devs actually see that and implement the fix into the full game. It's happened to me a couple of times. For example, Kingdom Come Deliverance, the fantasy role-playing game from my good friends at Warhorse Studios in Prague, who we hung out with at E3 a bunch, basically did not originally feature SLI. I fixed that in about a week after the full launch. It was added to the full game. So developers will see that stuff on YouTube and be like, why did this stupid blonde kid fix that and we didn't? So sometimes they actually add it back into the game, which is very, very cool. So hopefully at this point you guys can understand that NVIDIA does not support SLI like they should, but people like me will keep SLI alive even if most developers in the DirectX 11 and DirectX 12 era do not even think about it. And modders on Steam forums will keep SLI alive as long as we can. If you want to buy 2 GPUs, go ahead and do it. Alright, really quick to end out this video, let's go over some very popular PC games that you might want to play and see if they either support SLI or can be fixed to do so. I will split these games into 3 categories. SLI works. Basically, it works from installing. Absolutely, you don't have to do anything. To fixable SLI, it needs a bit of tinkering. And then the third category is no SLI. No chance at fixing, as far as I know. But yeah, so I'm gonna go through this massive list of all of the games that I played lately, or recently, or in 10 years, whatever. Just see if they have SLI or not. Please leave a like, subscribe. My name is Chriest. And yeah, stop by one of my live streams one of these days. Thank you guys for watching. Alright, if we go down the list right now of games that have SLI and games that don't, games that can be fixed very easily, we have started off with Call of Duty Black Ops 4. SLI works. Multiplayer and zombies runs very smooth. Blackout still needs a lot of patches. It doesn't run very good right now, but SLI works. Alright, going down to Far Cry 5. SLI works. Far Cry 4. SLI works. Far Cry Primal. SLI works. Far Cry 3. SLI works. Alright, moving down to another new game, Battlefield 5. We got SLI fixable. So basically, DICE did not add SLI into Battlefield 5, even though it would have been a very easy fix. I fixed it in 2 minutes. SLI is fixed by switching the DX10 and DX11 compatibility bits to Star Wars Battlefront 2 and changing the number of GPUs to DX10 count 4 and the AFR mode to AFR. The link is in my bio for the tutorial. Works for me and works for thousands of other people. Alright, moving on. Grand Theft Auto 5. SLI works perfectly. Moving on. World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. SLI works. You can do some more tinkering to make it work even better, but it works. World of Warcraft, SLI, all good. Alright, Dota 2. Dota 2 is fixable. It runs fine on one card, but it can be optimized pretty quick, basically in control panel, to make it run a bit better. Look for a YouTube tutorial. I don't have one, but somebody does. Alright, The Witcher 3, one of the best role-playing games of all time, if not the best. SLI works perfectly. If you haven't played that game, you need to. SLI works great. Go and get it. Alright, The Witcher 2. SLI also works. Also a great game. Go play it. Alright, a modern RPG. Kingdom Come Deliverance. SLI did not work at the beginning of the game's launch. I made a fix. They added it later. I don't know if it's exactly my fix, but it works now. Then again, this game is still in CryEngine. It's still super hard to run, so realistically, if you want to run this game in 4K 60 FPS, you're gonna need two 2080 Ti's in SLI, so good luck with that. Alright, next we got the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, one of all of our favorite games. It does not natively support SLI, you gotta do a few fixes. I have a tutorial on my channel. So basically, the scaling does work perfectly and helps out if you have a ton of mods installed, but to be honest, it does have like seizure-inducing flickering in the menus, but not in the game. The tutorial is in the description below. Half-Life 2. One of the greatest games of all time. SLI works. Moving on. Alright, Divinity Original Sin 2. This is SLI fixable. It's basically a one-button, easy change that the developers should have just added. You don't need NVIDIA Profile Inspector, basically just your control panel. You click one button. Link is in the bio for the tutorial. Or in the description, whatever. Moving on. Alright, Battlefield 1, SLI works. Battlefield 4, SLI works. Battlefield 3, SLI works. Mass Effect 1, SLI works. Mass Effect 2, SLI works. Mass Effect 3, what do you think? SLI works. Alright, on to some Ubisoft games. Watch Dogs 2, SLI works. The Division 1, SLI works. I do not know about Division 2 yet. I would expect not. Anyways, moving on. For Honor, that stupid sword fighting game that we all thought was going to be good. SLI works. Moving on. Call of Duty World War II. SLI is fixable. Link in my bio. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. SLI works. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1. COD 4 Remastered. SLI does not work. Alright, the last game on our list is the Session Demo, which is a new skateboarding game from Create Your Studios. That is SLI fixable. It is not available in the main game, but I have a tutorial in the goddamn description, like always. So yeah, the link is down there if you have that actual Kickstarter early demo. I have a fix for that too. So anyways, in conclusion, SLI is still a thing. I do believe it is still worth it. You can double your FPS in many games that still support it, or many games that you can actually fix it. Modern games today, most of which on Steam are not going to actually support 2 GPUs, but if it's on something like Battle.net, it's most likely going to. Besides that, There are so many fixes for so many games that if you have 2 GPUs, you can easily learn the programs, buy 2 graphics cards, and double your FPS in many games. Skyrim, Battlefield 1, Mass Effect 1, Kingdom Come Deliverance, The Witcher 2, The Witcher 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. There are so many games that still support SLI. If I've not convinced you, it's because I am rambling like a madman. Besides that, leave a like and subscribe, but SLI, it's still a thing, it's still alive. My name is Troy Harrison Chriest. You can just call me THC in the comments. Have a good one. SLI is still a thing. It is. Peace.